What's up, guys? Today, of course, I'll be discussing the post-patch version of the unique rifle in Battlefield 1 called the Martini-Henry Infantry. Much has changed with this weapon as of the December patch, and I'll break down exactly what's changed and whether or not this weapon is still worth using. As I've already alluded to, I did do a pre-patch review of this weapon, and you can check it out in my weapon playlist if you'd like to see it, where I previously gave it a 7 out of 10, which, of course, hindsight being 2020, seems a bit low now considering how brutally efficient this weapon used to be in that 30 to 80 meter range, and quite possibly was the best weapon in the game. So with that said, of course, I'll be discussing what I probably should have given it back when, before the patch, with the rating it should have been instead of 7 out of 10. And of course, I'll discuss everything you need to know and my review on this weapon after the post-patch. So for this review, I'll be discussing optimum strategies when using this weapon and break down the symptic numbers to give you a better understanding of the weapon. You need to be kit rank 10 for the scout class to unlock it, and you'll need to use 200 war bonds to unlock it. So let's get to the stats. To start, it has a very low 38 round per minute fire rate, a very low 440 meters per second bullet velocity, a 12 meters per second squared gravitational constant, which paired with the low bullet velocity means that not only are you going to be suffering significant bullet drop over longer ranges, it means you're going to have to start leading your targets even around the 100 meter range, which is really strange for this game with sniper rifles, but it's true, you will. The magazine size for this weapon is only 1. You can hold 30 rounds total. So that's the one thing it has with this too, is it only has a 1 round magazine. And on top of that, to make it worse, it takes 2.3 seconds to reload a single round into the magazine between shots. You can add a bayonet, which of course means that when you're stuck in close quarters or you're traversing across the map and someone surprises you, you can use a bayonet to stab them, but of note, it will affect your draw time. You should be wary of that. Interesting to note too, you can only use iron sights, and magnification only goes up to 2 times. So if we're breaking down the stats, there are concerns with this weapon as I just talked about. In terms of the damage chart, it states that the base damage of the weapon is 90, and it stays that way up to 20 meters away. Then it increases to 100 damage at 30 meters, stays at 100 damage until 80 meters, and then drops down to 80 damage at 120 meters. Headshots in this game for sniper rifles have a 1.8 times multiplier, upper body shots have a 1 times multiplier, and lower body shots and upper arms have 0.9 times, and legs and lower arms have a 0.75 times multiplier. So what this means is the weapon's sweet spot for a one-hit kill is chest and up from 30 to 80 meters away. And of course, a headshot is always a one-hit kill. So bear this in mind, because a lot has changed in terms of the multipliers, which I'll discuss in a minute or two. In terms of recoil, the Martini has 10 degrees of vertical recoil up, which is staggeringly high, and 1 degree both left and right in terms of horizontal recoil. In terms of spread, the Martini-Henry, as expected, logically speaking, has 0 overall spread in terms of when you aim down sights and don't move, and 1 degree when aiming down sights and moving. When hip firing standing and not moving, it will encounter 2.5 degrees of spread, and when hip fire standing and moving, it will encounter 4 degrees of spread. So it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway, stand still when you use this weapon. Try not to move at all. So what ranges and situations does this weapon excel? As noted earlier, the weapon outputs its max damage of 100 at that 30 to 80 meter sweet spot mark. So as long as you're hitting upper chest or chest shots and above, you'll want to stay at this range for maximum chances of a one-hit kill. Because of this, it's best suited for that minimum or medium range, I should say, because of not only the sweet spot, but because of the deficiencies of the 1 round magazine, slow reload time, low bullet velocity, and slow fire rate. Now, here's what's changed. For those of you that have seen, and say you're brand new and you're a Christmas noob, say you've seen multiple videos of people going around murdering people with this weapon, things have changed in terms of the multipliers in terms of this weapon that was fixed. Apparently, DICE called it a bug. We're not sure if it was actually a bug or whether they just changed the weapon design in the latest Battlefield 1 patch in December. DICE fixed a bug that had the Martini dealing too much damage to body parts. It's now affected by a 0.9 times multiplier to the lower torso and upper arms, and 0.75 multiplier to the legs and forearms, much like the other sniper rifles with the sweet spot mechanics. So the assumption was, previously, body parts other than the legs were either a 0.9 or 1 times multiplier. So if you basically hit a person in the arm or even in like the lower stomach area, which would normally be about 0.9 times and wouldn't be a one-hit kill, it was back before the patch. So anywhere between 30 to 80 meters hitting a target in, say, arms, chest, lower chest, etc., would be a one-hit kill. So that's significant. That's changed now. The weapon now conforms to the hitting the arms and hitting the lower chest, stomach area is no longer a one-hit kill. So what this means basically is that you'll be getting a lot more hit markers instead of one-hit kills at this range now. So make sure you have a good sidearm and make sure you make the most use of it because of this. You're going to have a lot of hit markers that require 1 or 2 shot follow-ups with your pistol, because as stated, the reload times and getting back on target with this weapon is not something you want to fire 2 consecutive shots with unless the target's far away and not moving. So the big question, what's my rating now and would I use it often? Before the patch, it probably was the best weapon in terms of that sweet spot 30 to 80 meter style of play. It was probably the best weapon in the game in that range. Hit anywhere in that upper body and even medium, say chest, stomach area, and it was a kill. Due to the fact that this is no longer the case, the weapon has, well, basically taken a big hit to its effectiveness. You'll now be getting a lot more hit markers, which means your sidearm is going to be a lot more important now. As usual, though, I feel skilled players will still have success, and it's not going to be a huge change to them because that's where most skilled players were going to aim anyway. But the average player won't be getting away with a lot of one-hit kill shots as frequently anymore. That means that for me, for the average player, I'd suggest using the other sniper rifles such as the SMLE, the Russian 1895, or the Gewehr 98 instead. If you want an aggressive rifle that will sort of act similar to what the Martini is, but you'll have a larger magazine and faster reload times, choose the Gewehr M95. For the weapons listed, of course, minus the M95, they'll have similar damage models. You'll get to have a sight with it. You won't have to deal with slow reloads, one in the chamber, or low bullet velocities. So to sum up, in my previous review, I gave it a bit of a harsh rating of 7 when it probably should have been maybe an 8.5, maybe even squeaking into 9, especially if you stayed in that territory of 30 to 80 meters. But I think 7 to 7.5 is accurate now. It's not really the weapon's fault because now it's actually obeying the typical damage multipliers, but it absolutely is affecting its efficiency now. Now, instead of dealing with a weapon that takes so long to reload and only holds 1 round, you can choose the M95 and avoid all those problems altogether for the same results. So that would be my rating of 7.5 now because of the changes when it probably should have been higher in my previous review. So there are simply just better options instead of the Martini from a statistics standpoint. If you like or agree with the review, please leave a like. Share it if you want to help a buddy out or maybe entertain him for a quick 8-minute video. And subscribe if you'd like to see more of these types of videos. Have a good one, YouTube.